Someone like Katy Perry. Did you know she was a Christian artist at one point? I am a creative, and I think being a creator is actually really hard. So let's get into it. Ever since I was a kid, I've known that I'm creative in some way. I've always tried to write songs or draw art or dance or make up something. I think we all have that small spark of creativeness within us. But I think that there are a few select people who are creatives. And this is really what this channel is about. Hi, by the way. My name's Brandon, and you're watching The Snipe Life. This is a channel all about looking at creativity through the lens of Christianity to help creatives create for God. You see, I remember the first time that I ever saw a true artist really draw. It was just in class in high school, and I remember the hand moving across the paper and just doodling. But there was ideas that were flowing that were beyond me. I didn't understand how someone so quickly could come up with an amazing idea and just execute it on a piece of paper. With music, it's a lot easier for me. I have music ideas flowing all the time. But in this instance, it seemed so impossible. I would try to replicate the same things over the years, just trying to draw and come up with ideas that I thought were good. But it just never came to me as easily. And I think that is where the true soul of a creator starts. Creatives have a way of looking at the world in a different way than other people do. And even within being a creative, there's a specialized field which you excel in normally. For me, that's music. But also, I think that people take for granted how difficult it can be to be a creator, to make something and then show it to other people, waiting for their approval or disapproval. If you're a creator, you know exactly what it's like to work hundreds of hours on a project, only for someone to nitpick at things and make you feel horrible about the job that you did. You know how it feels to work tirelessly and put your soul into a project. And sometimes people will react well and they'll love it. And then there's other times when there's one thing out of place and you feel like the whole thing is just ruined because of it. I know exactly how you feel. I've been there a million times. Even this video right now, I'm struggling with, because I'm not 100% sure how it's going to turn out. But I'm trying my best to communicate as clearly as possible to you so that we can have a good dialogue and we can talk about it. So yeah, being a creator is hard. I think it's hard work in the front end, and then it's hard to share your work, just like I talked about in my EP video. I just made 5 songs and I put them public on Spotify and TikTok and Pandora and Apple Music. It's so hard to put something out there that I'm afraid that people aren't going to like. I wish the whole world would listen to my music, but that's not going to happen. Most of the time I can't even get all of my friends to listen to what I make or see what I make. It's just the way that the world is. People are busy. They're always moving. But in that, I have to learn how to accept failure as well. Not only failure from my end, right? I can accept that I failed, that I created something that is not as good as I want it to be. But also, I have to accept failure in that people aren't always going to like or even be interested in what I'm making. And I have to learn how to be okay with that. So for that reason, I think that being a creative is really, really hard. But adding a Christian label on top of that, in today's world, I think it makes it way harder. Let's go over some of the reasons why I think that being a Christian creative is really hard in today's world. As a Christian creative, you have a drastically reduced audience because you're creating specifically Christian music or specifically Christian art. And so there are a vast majority of people who just will not pick up your music or your art or whatever you're making just because you're a Christian. I think that can be really difficult for us. That being said, there are many more Christians than you think are out there. And being in a niche can sometimes be the greatest thing for you. There are whole companies that work around specifically Christian areas. Within that same realm, being a Christian creative can feel very limiting. Oftentimes this can get really annoying because you see a trend that's going on, but you can't follow it. You can't get that wave of energy in your platform, in your social media or whatever else, because it's just not what God has called us to do. He's called us to be pure, to be holy, to be set apart, to be in the world, but not be of it. And I think that's important. Thirdly, we can get painted with a brush that is not us at all. There's a lot of Christians out there that have done some pretty crummy things. People burning books or yelling at a specific group of people. This is not what Christ would do, but yet Christians get painted with that brush all the time. Automatically, people are going to assume that you hate them because of how they live their lives, or because of what they do, or because of what friends they have. And even though we know as Christian creatives that's not the case, still, we're going to get painted with that brush. And we're going to be looked at immediately, judged immediately in that way. But let's take these hardships and let's talk about what truth actually is. What God has asked us to do. The fleshly thought that I immediately have is that being a Christian creative is just not worth it. In my mind, a lot of the times I would say that I would rather be a creative who happens to be Christian. We hear this a lot from people like Andy Mineo or NF. And not to say that they're not true Christian creatives or that they don't love God, because I know that they do. But I believe that this view can be dangerous. If you follow this thought process, it can lead you down a road of changing your focus. Let me explain. If you start creating for any other reason but to glorify God, I think that it can bring you down a path of wanting to glorify yourself. And we saw this even in Genesis with Adam and Eve. They wanted to create something themselves. They wanted to be like God, and Satan took advantage of that. All he did was ask them a question. Did God really say? And because they made up their own minds, they took the fruit and they ate. And we've seen this many, many times in our lives as well. Someone who lives to create for God and then gets caught up in selfish desire to create for themselves or to create for other people, to create what they want instead of what God has asked them to create. Someone like Katy Perry. Did you know she was a Christian artist at one point? Now, one last thing. I want to say that just because someone makes something outside of the express purpose of glorifying God does not mean that it's not beautiful, that it's useless or not good. There are so many things that are beautiful, created by people who just don't know who they are, and they don't trust God to lead their way. Yet, God has obviously put amazing talent in so many people, and I'm blessed to have the skills that I have, and so is everybody else here on YouTube, and so is everybody that has taught me how to make films, like Peter McKinnon or Daniel Schiffer or Danny Gevirtz. All of these guys have helped me tremendously with the way that I shoot and in the way that I edit and in making our business possible. And I don't believe that any of them are Christ followers, which hurts my heart. But my goal is to get into this space, to become a creator, a content creator and a creator in general, to reach people that often run away from God, because to create can so easily become a selfish thing. It can so easily become something that is about you instead of what it's intended for, which is to be about God. Vanessa and I know that making this channel specifically for Christian creatives is not something that is going to become the new trend. It's not something that's going to blow up in 2021. But we know that this is what we've been called to do. And so we're going to do it. Because I believe that there are people out there who want a community like this, who want a community to share ideas, projects, to help make things together, to glorify God as a community and as a family. If you're down to be a part of that family, let us know below in the comments. It's really going to help us out to get some understanding of who you are and what you create. Maybe we can help you on something, or maybe you can help us. We'd love to start the community. That being said, I can't imagine my life without creating, without making something. I'm pretty sure I make something every single day. If I don't create, I'm not doing what I was created to do. And so I hope that we can find somebody out there that thinks the same way that we do, that loves creating as much as we do. If that's you, make sure to leave a comment below, like this video and subscribe. Let us know that you exist. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to help you out with songs, with music, with a dance routine, whatever it is. Let us walk you through and create this community together. That's our dream, is to have a family ready to build each other up, to create, and to create beautifully for God and no other reason. Yeah, this one's a little bit different, but I really wanted to share this today. So I think that's it. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.